Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got Bert, the man, the hurt locker, and you got Lanny over here, and we're talking to you about the dividend stock activity we had during this past week of technically January 19th.
Yeah, we are always looking to put money into the market, so we are pumped to talk to you and let you know what stocks we have been buying. But before we do, you know the drill, everybody. Smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Help us continue to grow our YouTube channel so we can talk to you about dividend investing, dividend news, dividend increases, and the stock market.
Now, you can't grow your dividend income unless well, I guess you can grow through dividend increases and reinvestment, but you should be continually buying dividend stocks. You need to keep jolting that foundation and perpetuate that dividend income as you reach and you're on your journey to that financial freedom.
Yeah, and that's the point. You want your passive income to grow. You want to be able to earn money while you're sleeping. You don't want to have to think about it. What's better than waking up in the morning, opening up your notifications and seeing that you received a dividend?
Nothing better than that. And then tuning into YouTube, watching the diplomats and seeing what dividend increases you just experienced this past week.
I love it, Lanny. That's absolutely right. So we want to talk to you because we've been investing for over the years. We talked to you about dividend investing. We are fully transparent about the stocks we own. We put our full portfolios on our website. We'll put a link in the description. So we want to show you we believe in dividend investing more than anybody out there. We put our money where our mouth is. We are 100% in on this strategy to reach financial freedom.
So this past week of January 19th, because of MLK Day, was off, the market was closed. Bert and his wife and myself and my wife, we were adding dividend stocks to our current dividend portfolios. And Bert himself, they were investing into one, a dividend aristocrat, and one, a soon-to-be dividend aristocrat in the telecommunications sector. Now, my wife and I, we stayed with our same strategy, also bought a company in the telecommunications, maybe a grocery store, as well as another small community bank. Now, I'll start it off just because there's one that's a frickin' broken record over here. My wife and I, because we started to plan back in the 2020, the pandemic, we didn't want to time the market. We didn't want to try to second guess. We wanted to take the emotions fully out of the market. So if you haven't seen it already, we invest every Monday into Vanguard's high dividend yield ETF, or ticker symbol VYM. And again, this past Monday or Tuesday technically, was no different. We each bought 3 shares, VYM, at a price of about $95.18. We each did that, so we added approximately $17.50 in total to our forward dividend income, because each share pays at around $2.91 per share. Dividend yield of about 3%.
Yeah, and it's nice to see this strategy with Lanny as they continue to invest on every Monday and Tuesday when the market's closed on a Monday. It truly is a model of consistency here, and you can see what happens if you just consistently invest, continuously put money into the market. You can watch that grow. It's interesting to see where VIM was when Lanny started this strategy to where the stock price is now, which has been nice because he's in a very nice gain position here and he has a nice amount of dividend income.
So, we invested again, well over actually this time $500 total because that stock price on this ETF continues to rise. VYM, 6 total shares, $17.50. Bert, now,
it's the consistent motion of just shooting a free throw. Just gotta do it.
Keep shooting it. Keep staying laser focused. So Bert, what did you and your wife buy? Because I know you guys both bought.
Yeah, our stock purchases were at the end of the week, but our major purchase was this dividend aristocrat that Lanny is talking about. Their share price fell after earnings, and it was one of the more high-profile earnings releases on that Friday because the news, some investors didn't like it. But for me, I wanted to continue building our position in this company. That company, IBM, ticker symbol, IBM. So we've been growing our position in this aristocrat over the years. The stock price jumped up. We took a pause here, and this gave us a nice little opportunity to invest in the company. I bought and added 4 shares to my portfolio, and I added 2 to my wife. For me, that added $26 in dividend income, and for her, it added just over $13. So it was a very nice position.
$40 almost right there.
Yeah, and it was a yield of just over 5.5. Now, some people, as I said, haven't been that positive on IBM, especially as their revenue continued to decline. in this earnings release. But for us, I look, they're still generating a ton of revenue. They're still generating earnings. They're still generating free cash flow for their dividend. Their payout ratio is below our 60% threshold in our dividend stock screener. So for me, this is a nice time to put a little extra money towards it and continue building our position.
Wow. So Bert, what do you think's happening with IBM? Aren't they doing a spinoff?
Yep, they're going to have that spinoff that's coming in 2021 where they move their legacy company over here and then they bring the new modern cloud company over here that really grew through the Red Hat acquisition. So it's going to be great to see where IBM ends up at the end of 2021 because it's going to be a heck of a lot different than where they entered the year.
So Bert, you invested around what, almost $700+, and how much you get in forward income?
Yeah, we're adding just almost $40 in forward dividend income right there. Again, it's a 5.5% dividend yield on our purchase.
Solid.
So we'll take it and we'll continue building our position if the metrics continue to look right.
Solid.
So now that was with us. Now it's back over into your court, Lanny. Why don't you tell us about some of these other purchases, because VOAM was not the only funder you added to your portfolio.
I also, dipped back into the grocery store down in Columbus, Ohio, Kroger, ticker symbol KR.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh,
actually,
Cincinnati, correction.
Yeah, just keep going down 71.
Keep going down 71. And so Kroger, again, performed very well during 2020. Obviously, because of COVID-19, the global pandemic, grocery stores did very well. But I started to look at Kroger and I'm like, I like their balance sheet. Good payout ratio, good dividend growth rate. Now the yield is not going to blow your socks off at all. I mean, I bought 10 more shares at $32.67. It's actually $10 higher per share than what I previously bought them. You're thinking, geez, 50% plus gain, you're buying more shares. I mean, for me, it's this. My money is sitting there doing nothing. And I bought Kroger because they yield 2.2%. And they have a double-digit dividend growth rate typically. So pair that with the dividend yield and consistency in growing their dividend. I wanted a little more piece of the pie there.
Yeah, but it's not just about dividend yield. Like, sure, when I bought IBM, it's a high-yielding stock, but it's about the metrics. That's what's the most important aspect to us. Is this dividend growth stock undervalued? Do they increase their dividend over time? And do we feel comfortable that they're going to continue growing it regardless of what their yield is? Sure, we like some yield, but that's not the deciding factor. So whether it's 5.5% at IBM or 2.2% dividend yield for Kroger, it's just about building and adding those high quality dividend stocks to your portfolio. So very nice job.
So the 10 shares, $326.70, added $7.20 to my forward income there.
Yeah, and it looks like with this next stock, the only other stock we bought, you actually added to as well a little bit this week.
I grabbed a few. Who is that?
Yeah, so we just talked about AT&T and how we love Big Blue, but we also love Big Red as well, and we've been building our position in Verizon, ticker symbol VZ. We started adding to my wife's position in the company and growing her investment in Verizon several weeks ago when we identified them as an undervalued dividend stock to watch. So for us, we're like, yeah, why not? Let's grab 2 more shares. The metrics are still the same. The metrics still look great. So we added 2 shares, bought it at just over $57 per share, added $5.02 to forward income from that with a yield on purchase of 4.4%. And how many did you add?
I added 5. I added 5 more shares of Verizon, really trying to just round out the position there as I've been buying over the last few weeks. They had a nice little small spike downwards to $56.79. That's the price that I picked them up at. And that, those 5 shares added another $12.55 to my forward income at a 4.42% dividend yield.
Always do that, Lanny. You always get them at a lower price than I do.
I had to beat him out. I mean, he edged me out, a week or 2 ago, so I'm like, putting an end to that ASAP.
Yeah, so let's round third. Let's head home. Lanny, you had one more stock that you purchased this week. Let's talk about this community bank.
All right, so I bought this community bank. Actually, first time was 6 to 8, maybe way longer ago, a few months ago, actually. They're out in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, actually. I don't recommend a drive there because it's very hard to get to.
It is not a fun drive.
Yeah, it's out in the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania area.
Yeah.
And, I picked up 6 shares of Orrstown Financial, ticker symbol ORRF, and 6 shares at $17.51. So a total of only an additional $105 to the investment.
Yeah. It's a nice pickup. They're a nice, solid community bank with a decent balance sheet. They're in the sweet spot of what we like with community banks in that $1 to $5 billion range. They have strong capital ratios because that's the one thing with banks right now.
They trade below book value.
Yeah, so they're showing signs of undervaluation that are niche to the banking industry, which is what we typically look at when we're buying bank stocks.
So at $17.50 in their book value, which you take the equity over the shares, their book value is over 20. So I like buying companies below book value in the banking sector, and they have a trend now of growing their dividend. It's still pretty young in the dividend growth because they had some legal and regulatory ramifications to get through.
Yes, they did, but it's okay. They're out of it now. They have a lot of cash on their balance sheet, strong capital ratios, and as we know at the banking sector, they are returning cash to shareholders. So that's what's nice. They're going to start that dividend increase streak. You got to start somewhere.
So Orrstown Financial, again, ticker symbol ORRF. The 6 shares added $4.08 to my forward income. The yield on them at the time of purchase was 3.88%. Again, well above the S&P 500 and well above my high yield savings account, Bert.
Very nice, Lanny. So let's summarize here. My wife and I in our portfolio, I added 4 shares of IBM. My wife added 2, and she added 2 more shares of Verizon. In total, we put $823 in the market, added $44 of dividend income. Overall yield on our purchases was 5.36%. Thank you, IBM, for juicing that number up a little bit for us.
High yield over here. Bert, the high yield hurt locker.
Yeah, that's my nickname. What about you, Lanny? So let's hear your summary.
So this is pretty interesting. So Bert only deployed, he only had to deploy $823 for $44 in income. We deployed almost $1,300, technically $1,286.91. And we only added $41.29, so actually less than Bert and his wife. Overall yield was 3.21%, and when you buy Kroger at 2.2%, that's really what happens, is it'll bring, that average yield on purchase down.
But again, it's not a competition. We're not bragging about who had more dividend income on a week-to-week basis. We're just pumped for each other that we were able to continue in building our positions, getting closer to financial freedom, and adding great dividend stocks to our portfolio.
So what comments do you have on the stocks that we bought? I'm sure you've never heard of Orrstown Financial, so please, list your questions out below because Bert and I can thoroughly answer any question related to a community bank.
That is true, and if you don't subscribe to our channel, please do so. We appreciate it, and we've loved all the love and support we've gotten so far as we've grown our YouTube channel. And give this video a thumbs up if you want to continue getting more dividend stock purchase news.
We appreciate you guys for stopping by. Let us know what you bought during the week. We're excited to kick butt here on another week as we head into this weekend. This is Bert and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats.
Over and out.